The Alamo fire burning along Highway 166 east of Santa Maria is now the largest fire burning in the state at 24,000 acres. Power is out in neighborhoods along Los Osos Valley Road in San Luis Obispo following a suspected DUI crash into a power pole.
We are here out in front of Camp San Luis, which is the command post here along Highway 1. We can tell you in about 15 minutes the evacuation orders for the about 250 people affected by the evacuation order will be lifted.
Well, game one of the World Series is underway right now.
KSBY Sports Director Jessica Vo is live at Laguna Grill to see how fans are celebrating there. Jessica, how's it going?
Dodgers! Back to you guys.
Go Dodgers! 1, 2, 3.
Go Dodgers!
Right there with you guys. Campers at Circle V Ranch at Cachuma Lake were trapped by flames and were rescued by firefighters. This is video of children being reunited with their parents after that rescue. About 90 children and 50 staff members at the camp were trapped when the fire absolutely exploded late Saturday. All right, Kelsey, thank you. So much information there. Great reporting all day long on the Whittier fire. We appreciate that. Mandatory evacuation orders have been issued in the Whittier fire for Highway 154 from West Armor Ranch Road. There are currently 4 large wildfires burning on the Central Coast. The latest one broke out this afternoon east of Santa Margarita. The Stone Fire is burning off Highway 58 near Warrow Road. All right, let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Dave Hovde now. Dave, even from the start of the newscast, you saw the smoke changing there behind Brooke. First, it was like a diagonal, almost like a slice from the sky to the smoke. Now it seems more spread out. What is that telling you? Bobby, this is really something to see, especially when your photographer zooms into you. It almost looks like it's nighttime out there where you are. Then when he pans out, you can see that's just smoke. Is the smoke getting a lot worse from the time that you started reporting at 6 o'clock till now? Because it certainly seems so. It's falling all over you as well. We can see it in your hair. My goodness. Well, stay safe out there. We will continue to check in with Bobby and Brooke on the Whittier fire as more evacuations go into place as well. Bobby, thank you. Meantime, Southern California Edison is urging energy conservation this weekend in case the Whittier fire impacts transmission lines. If that happens, customers in the Santa Barbara area could lose power. SoCal Edison says crews are in the area to address any potential loss of the transmission lines and will work to reduce the disruption to customers. The energy conservation is to relieve some of the additional strain on the system. We know for sure is that there are too many fires burning in the state right now, and they are huge. And firefighters are working tirelessly to get them all under control. Coming up, we have some other news. President Donald Trump returns from his trip overseas.
Dan, we are out front of Camp San Luis. This is along Highway 1 near Cuesta College in the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office. We're about 16 miles west of the fire, of the Hill Fire, which is burning east of Santa Margarita. Now, they chose a location like this because, as you can see, it takes quite a large staging area to handle a fire of this size. We have seen endless fire trucks coming and going from Camp San Luis. There are tents out here because this is the sleeping quarters, if you will, for the firefighters who are battling this fire. We can tell you good news here from the command post tonight. CAL FIRE will be lifting all of the evacuation orders for the Hill Fire at 7 p.m. They want to stress this is for residents only. Non-residents will be turned away. They're going to allow residents to return to their homes, to their properties, again at 7 p.m. Obviously, some great news there for the evacuees. Roughly 200 people, 250 people forced from their homes by this fire. Obviously, they're going to be returning home, hoping to find something left, returning to their properties, hoping to find something standing. Unfortunately, that is not what one man found. We know at least one home burned to the ground, and KSBY News reporter Brooke Martell was with that man when he returned to his property to find nothing left. Let's go live to Brooke now in Santa Margarita. Brooke? All right, Brooke, thank you for that report. Really unimaginable to know what that man is going through, knowing he lost everything. We know that the evacuation orders have been lifted, so everybody who's been affected by this fire will be returning to their properties, and we can only hope the best for all of them as well. We're going to toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Dave Hovde now. Dave, the winds are really whipping here. Again, we're out in front of Camp San Luis where the staging area is. How are the conditions out there on the fire front? All right, Dave, thank you. Yeah, it does seem to be a changing point for them today as they're gaining containment. The evacuation orders have been lifted. This really has been a team effort. We can see the huge team behind me at the command post here off of Highway 1. A lot of activity here along Highway 1. A lot of activity off of Highway 101 as well, especially in the Santa Margarita area. There is a large open field right off Highway 101 where helicopters are landing. It's another staging area. We're going to go to live to KSBY News reporter Megan Abundis, who has more on the helipad operations there. Megan? All right, Megan, thank you for that. Obviously, as you saw in Megan's report, they are hitting this thing hard with everything they got, and it's working. Just to recap for you, it's burned about 1,598 acres, and it's 60% contained tonight. All evacuation orders will be lifted as of 7 p.m., but again, that's only for residents. Non-residents still will not be allowed in that area, and they're asking people to please stay off the roads as much as you can because there's still going to be a lot of activity there as firefighters try to gain 100% containment on this fire. We're going to continue gathering information out here in the field. For now, we're going to send it back to Dan and Dave in the studio. It was a little windy earlier, and it seems to be getting a little windier, but really that marine layer is pushing through. I know earlier you guys said that this looked like smoke behind me. It is definitely not smoke. Again, we are about 20 miles west of the fire, but this marine layer is really moving in. It's even a little wetness to the air. Dave, what are fire conditions like up there? Is it favorable?
When someone has a heart attack, every minute that passes, the chance of survival decreases. Life-saving AEDs, or automated external defibrillators, are kept in public places to bring the dead back to the living. But how easy are they to find? We find out in this morning's Safe and Secure. This is the softball field where San Luis Obispo's fire chief, John Callahan, had a heart attack back in 2010. Many of us remember well the days that would follow. Since then, his widow, Linny, has set out to save lives.
It was also a project that John had looked into, something that we had talked about. And so I decided to carry on his legacy by starting the John W. Callahan Heart Safe Project.
The goal, to get businesses and organizations equipped with automated external defibrillators.
Apply pads, plug-in connector.
Mobile devices that send an electric shock to the heart to try to restore a heartbeat.
Deliver shock now. Press the orange button.
They're easy to use. The hard part is getting them in public places where they're highly visible. Ellery Conover of Star CPR tracks exactly where AEDs are placed.
They're not readily available. What you can do is, if you own an AED, you can put a sticker on a front window or on your front door to let people know that there is a life-saving device there.
With every second that goes by, a person's chance of surviving a heart attack goes down by 10%. So I set out in downtown San Luis Obispo to check out locations that have AEDs to see how easy they are to find when you enter through the door. I started with the most public places. Within 25 seconds, I found the AED sign and machine in the lobby of the county building. It was also highly visible in the lobby of the library. And walking into the city council chambers, you can't miss it. They are tucked away at the courthouse, but within 10 seconds, security officers knew exactly where to find them. In fact, an AED has been used to save a life here before.
I didn't hesitate, and I knew every second mattered for this gentleman.
Slow City Fire has created a map and app to help locate AEDs in an emergency. The Callahan Project helped to place 70 of them throughout the county. You can see there are now 2 at the park where John Callahan had his heart attack. But when I checked on most of the downtown slow locations, something was missing. There was no indication on the outside of the building an AED was inside. Do you think it's important that it be on the outside as well, and why?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the public walks by every single day. Somebody goes down in cardiac arrest. If there's a visible sign there, obviously it makes it more accessible.
Of the 8 locations I checked out, none of them had signs on the outside showing there was an AED inside, and in fact, 3 of the locations were incorrect. Splash Cafe says there's no AED on site, despite what the map may say, and the other 2 businesses, Tartaglia Realty and Slow Downtown Association, had moved locations, even though they're still right here on the app. Lenny's organization helped to get those 2 AEDs.
It is something that should absolutely be reported, like I said, to the fire department or to a local EMS agency, just so that someone's not sent there and there's nothing there.
SLO City Fire Chief Garrett Olson says just that. It is the responsibility of the private business owner to notify county EMS if their AED location changes. Still, the app is a great resource in the event of an emergency, and you can head to ksby.com for a link to the Pulse Point app and Star CPR's AED Finder app. Also, Chief Olson, County Supervisor Adam Hill, and the Chamber of Commerce are now looking into getting stickers or signs for the exterior of their respective buildings. And we do plan to follow up with them to see when that happens. Now back to you. And as we wrap up what has been an emotionally charged week with the events in Las Vegas, we want to remember those in our community directly affected by this horrible tragedy. Here's a look at our neighbors who were there and one who lost her life when the shots rang out. When bullets rained down on the crowd at a country music festival in Las Vegas and people ran in terror, there were also acts of human kindness.
I had my arms stretched out to the column. I was grabbing people underneath my arm, pulling them out.
Arroyo Grande's Timothy Nash saved dozens of people by helping them over a fence. Others among us witnessed the unthinkable.
There was a girl laying dead next to, where we were standing.
Carly Richardson Goss of Napoma was at the front of the stage where bullets were flying. Kelsey Hitchin of Arroyo Grande was also there.
You just hear a long stream of bullets super fast and then a pause and then it would go again.
While here at home, hundreds of miles away, people were waking up to the horrid news.
I woke up that morning to phone calls and messages that there was a massacre in Las Vegas.
57-year-old Denise Cohen of Carpinteria lived with her best friend, Leanna Orsua. Cohen is among the 58 people who were killed.
She was dancing and singing, and I think that's what she's doing right now in heaven.
A Cal Poly freshman also got the news hours before he was set to attend a candlelight vigil at the campus that his friend's mom had been killed.
I can't imagine how little Brooke or my friend Robert feel right now.
The nation's deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, affecting us all.